Imagine this. You've traded all the pieces and now you are in an endgame. But wait a minute, what do you do now? Well, in this video, you will find out just what you need to do to win. In an endgame where all the pieces get traded, your king becomes the most valuable piece. Because if you just stay home and don't do anything, you will never win. But for example, White's king is already going to win this pawn and promote to a queen. Now this position is very tricky because there is only one winning move, and that is king to e4, taking opposition. And opposition means that you practically don't let the enemy king to go forward, and the king has to go back. But now you advance, and if your opponent ever goes back, then the same thing happens, opposition, and you will simply promote this pawn. Another very important tactic is pawn breaks. For example, in this position, White is winning. But how? Well, with the move b4. And here, if your opponent takes, alright, you got a passed pawn and you're going to win. But if your opponent doesn't take, you still have a passed pawn and you're still going to win. Now this position is absolutely fascinating. Here, there is a pawn break that wins the game. But wait a minute, you don't have any pawns in plus or anything. But here, the spectacular move is b6. But why is that? Well, your opponent can just take. But here, can you find the winning move? Well, it is a6, a spectacular move, because even though you've given up two pawns, now your pawn is a passed pawn, and there is no stopping it. But anyway, Black is forced to take, because if he doesn't take, you will take and still make a queen. Now what about in this position? What do you think is the best move? Well, if you thought that you can move the king to c5, yeah, I attack his pawn, I protect my pawn. But this is a blunder, because after the king goes to e4, it's your turn and you have to move. And after you move, you lose your pawn. But here, there is only one winning move, and that is king c6. Because sure, Black can play king e4, but now you play king c5. And the difference is, it's Black to move. And after Black moves, you win a pawn. And then, you promote to a queen and checkmate your opponent. Now, for everybody's favorite time, quiz time. In this position, Black has a passed pawn, which will promote in 3 moves. But here you are actually winning. Can you find the move? Well, of course, it is b6. But what if your opponent takes? Do you recapture? Of course not. You play c6. And now, when your opponent takes back, you will promote to a queen because you are faster and you will win the game. Now, before I go, how do you win this very simple position? Well, of course, it's with king e3, taking opposition, and you will keep repeating this process until you already have the red carpet for your pawn. Now, if you're still watching, tell me what video should I do next in the comments.